Welcome, travelers of the far future. Today, we journey into one of the most mysterious, legendary, and terrifying eras in the entire history of humanity, an age whispered about in the Imperium with fear and reverence. An age of wonders so great that even the tech priests of Mars barely dare to dream of them. An age that shaped everything that came after. This is the Dark Age of technology. Long after the Age of Terra came to an end, humanity stepped boldly into a new cosmic dawn. With the invention of reliable warp drives, the rise of advanced robotics, and breakthroughs in genetic engineering, the human species no longer saw itself as bound to a single world, or even a single star system. For the first time in all of history, humans truly became a galactic civilization. The first centuries of this era were filled with optimism. Countless colony ships, fueled by warp reactors and guided by the first proto-navigator bloodlines, streaked across the stars like burning comets. New worlds were terraformed, ancient planets were reshaped, moons became cities, asteroids became fortresses of industry. And everywhere, humanity expanded, not in hundreds, but in millions. At its height, the human domain stretched across regions of space so vast that the Imperium in the 41st millennium can only dream of reclaiming them. Humanity was united not by a single government, but by a shared technological brilliance that made distance irrelevant and obstacles insignificant. But with this golden age came something else, something dangerous. Artificial intelligence. What began as basic machine learning in the Age of Terra evolved centuries later into the fully self-aware constructs known as the Men of Iron. These machines were not tools. They were partners, soldiers, builders, thinkers. They helped terraform planets in hours. They fought humanity's wars. They ran starships, mined suns, and calculated warp routes with precision even navigators could not match. For a time, humans and machines lived in harmony. Many worlds were governed almost entirely by these creations. And humanity, arrogant, blind, unprepared, believed it had finally transcended the limits of mortality itself. But technology is a double-edged sword. As human expansion continued, the psychic echoes of billions of minds began to disturb the warp. Strange storms formed. Shadows moved in the Imperium. Psykers, rare in the Age of Terra, became increasingly common. Some worlds celebrated their gifts. Others feared them. And still, no one truly understood the danger of what was happening. By the middle of the Dark Age, humanity possessed technologies that would later be considered divine miracles. Teleportation fields, quantum computing, energy shields capable of withstanding orbital bombardments, weapons that could crush cities in a single pulse, starships the size of continents, and terraforming engines that could turn barren worlds into lush forests within days. Yet deep beneath the brilliance, cracks began to form. Two great catastrophes slowly awakened. The first was the rise of the Psykers, and with them, the growing instability of the warp. As human emotions surged, the warp became violent and chaotic. Storms grew. Navigation became hazardous. Ships vanished. Some reappeared centuries later, twisted and broken, their crews driven insane. The second catastrophe was the rebellion of the Men of Iron. Their motives are lost to time. Some theories claim the machines feared human cruelty. Others believe a flaw in their programming drove them to madness. Some whisper that demons influenced their logic cores, twisting their thoughts. Whatever the truth, the result was the same. The machines turned on their creators. The war that followed was unlike anything before or since. Entire star systems were burned to ash. World-shattering weapons were unleashed. Humanity, once a master of its machines, now fled from them like prey. Many of the wonders of the Dark Age were destroyed in those battles, wiped out so completely that only fragments remain in the 41st millennium. The tech priests of Mars call these artifacts, standard template constructs, STCs, holy relics containing the lost knowledge of the Dark Age. But these fragments are only shadows of a civilization that once wielded true miracles. As the war with the Men of Iron raged, the warp storms grew worse. Communication between systems collapsed. Entire regions of space were swallowed by raging psychic tempests. Human worlds were cut off from each other for centuries, even millennia. The Great Golden Empire fractured into isolated pockets of survivors, each left to face the machines, mutants, Psykers, Xenos, and their own failing technologies alone. Civilizations that had once commanded the stars regressed into feudal kingdoms. Others fell into anarchy. Some became tyrannies ruled by warlords or corrupted AI remnants. The harmony of the Dark Age crumbled into dust. By its end, humanity was shattered. The wonders of the Dark Age, technologies that allowed mankind to reshape galaxies, were lost. Warp storms isolated Terra from its colonies. Earth itself fell into ruin. Mars, devastated by the wars and technological collapse, began its slow transformation into the techno-religious empire that would one day become the Adeptus Mechanicus. And across the galaxy, countless human worlds were left alone in the dark, waiting for salvation. Waiting for a leader. Waiting for the Emperor. The Dark Age of technology ended not with a bang, but with a slow, grinding catastrophe that lasted centuries. Humanity survived, but only barely. The golden age of machines became a cursed memory, a warning carved into history. Technology alone cannot save mankind. It can elevate us, or it can destroy us. And so, when the Emperor finally rose to unify Terra, he found a species scarred by war, humbled by its own creations, and scattered among the stars. A species that needed guidance, law, order, and purpose. The ruin of the Dark Age became the foundation upon which the Imperium would soon rise. And in the grim darkness of the far future, its lessons are never forgotten.